Hi Libra, this is your September 2019 reading. Libra, we are about to come to your season. Your season is about to begin from 22nd or 23rd of September when there will be 4 planets in your sign. There'll be a lot of concentrated focus on you, especially in the month of October when all the planets, all the personal planets will be in your sign. That will be the time when we will be looking to recreate who we are as a person and launching a new you in your season for a completely different solar year, for a completely year ahead, because this is the first time in your season that we will be having Saturn, South Node, and Pluto together in your house of home and family, restructuring who you are as a person in terms of what kind of leader you are, what kind of a family person you are. It is completely changing your own existence. The very fabric of operation is being changed as a result of these 3 planets together. But what's happening right now is that Saturn is about to go direct on 18th of September. So we will be experiencing certain changes which were held up, structural changes that were held up over the course of last 4.5 months, because Saturn was busy in resolving our inner inhibition to changes. It was busy in giving us time to restructure our internal life before the external reality starts changing. Now that we have been through the process of last 4 months of breaking down our own resistance to changes, now Saturn will start showing us external manifestation of restructuring when it comes to your career, when it comes to your family life, when it comes to your place of living. Your critical axis will be activated in the month of October with both Saturn and Pluto direct by then. What we are doing right now is that we are putting to end a few old chapters. Because in Virgo season, we work on things behind the scene before our season begins. But this is not an ordinary season, because this is where you take care of things that need to be taken care of before your season begins. And number one priority for that is your health. Setting order to your health and finding the right healing methods in this season, in my view, should be your number one priority. And you will see that for yourself this season, because Neptune is making a contact with Sun around 10th of September, and it is also meeting with Mercury before that around 7th of September. This is the time when certain things that we were missing out earlier when it comes to healing ourselves, they might be brought to focus. Things that we were missing on, that we did not realize were simple to do, that can help us in our health, they might be brought to focus, and I think we should be on lookout for those. When we have a season of Virgo and it is in your 12th house, it's the time to research healing methods. It's the time to find natural healing methods when it comes to alternative medicines, when it comes to herbs, when it comes to yoga, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to how to take care of our mental and physical well being by appropriate sleep, appropriate schedule, having the right routines in place. Because in the second half of the month, you might be tested on those routines. So my suggestion is, if I have to prioritize something in the first 2 weeks of the month for you, I would prioritize health. And there are certain methods that will be revealed to you, which you could be on lookout for. This is especially true if you have planets around 17 degree of Libra, which is around 10th of October born. I would highly recommend that. Apart from that, the first 2 weeks of the month, there could be a lot of focus on you resolving old issues. There might be certain chapters that need to be closed, certain things that need to be brought to order behind the scene before you're put in the spotlight. Because in the second half of the month, you will be on spotlight, especially when it comes to your work as well. Because the full moon of 14th of September, which will continue for at least 2 weeks from then, will be focused on your health routines and work routines. So there might be a work project that you have been working on over the course of last 6 months that might come into focus over the course of 2 weeks starting from 14th of September. So between 14th of September to 28th of September, you will see a flurry of activity when it comes to your work, when it comes to project. And there could be something related to health as well that might be brought to focus. So my recommendation for the first 2 weeks is to make sure that you get adequate sleep, you do certain things, set up certain routines, or research some alternative medicines if you know there is an ailment that is sort of bothering you. This is the time when we find solutions. In Virgo season, we find solutions. We research and find solutions. I spoke about it in detail in the part 1 of the video, which I will request you to see as well, because it gives you the general view of what things we should be doing in Virgo season. Virgo season is a season when we find natural solutions and easier solution. This is an easier season. 8 planets are working together to help you, to support you, to build you up when it comes to both your emotional health as well as your physical health. And they're forming a grand trine with each other. They're forming a grand trine with each other in the house of endings. There is something that needs to be detoxed out of your life. And in Virgo season, we detox it with ease. We detox it with excitement. We detox it with a lightness within ourselves, because something needs to be let go to be healthier, to be happier, to have more fun in our life and experience this transformation. It frees you. It frees your body. You can feel that physically, unburdening your body, and you feel light as a result of that. Uranus is also supporting this. Uranus is sitting in your house of transformation. And it is an easier aspect coming from a planet that sort of helps us do certain exciting things. So there could be certain unusual healing methods, unusual way of exercising, unusual methods of taking care of your body, of your health, that you might be discovering. This is also where we sometimes discover very innovative hobbies, innovative talents within ourselves that give us excitement, that give us sort of this freedom of the mind, that heal us in some way. Uranus in the house of transformation helps us rise above the negative, helps us detox certain kind of emotions that we don't consider integral part of our life. And as a Libra, you are the sign who is not normally attached with feelings like jealousy, feelings like possession, feeling like being possessive about something or vindicative about something, or extreme emotions. Uranus sitting in the house of transformation detoxes those emotions out of our life. But the first thing it does is that it shows us that those emotions do live within ourselves. So you might have seen certain elements, certain moments in the past few months where you might have felt out of element. When you suddenly saw a side of you that you have not seen before. And it was a moment of recognition that that side of me is not truly me. But sometimes when suppressed anger, suppressed negative emotions come out, they are an indication of a suppressed emotion within ourselves. And they come out in a sudden way or an unexpected way because they have not been dealt with. In this season, when we are supposed to be objective, when detox is the aim, when surgical cutting off of things that don't do us good is the aim, it is the time when we can effectively regress into those emotions and cut them off. When we can rise above the primal, when we can detox a part of us which we know cannot continue when our season comes up. Because you will face those emotions in not so positive way in your season, because Uranus makes a difficult aspect with your sun during the time of your season starting from 17th of September. This is especially true if you have planets around 6 degree of Libra, which is around 28th or 29th of September born. There will be a restlessness which will come up around 17th of September. Then again around 27th or 28th of September with your new moon over there, which needs to be dealt with in the first 2 weeks of the month proactively, so you are not facing those in an abrupt fashion later when 4 planets are in your sign and it's time to create the new versus dealing with the old. So deal with it now. There is a probing beneath the surface that is required to discover certain things that need to be released. It could be that you need to discuss things out with your partner. It could be with the people who you are deeply engaged with. There is a detachment from emotions that comes in Virgo season, so we can surgically handle them and release them and let go of certain dependencies, certain angers, certain negative emotions, and experience the transformation, experience the freedom, experience the feeling of trusting others openly, because we have openly aired our emotions. And you will see them come out in a very positive fashion in this season because it's supported. This outlay is supported in this season. So between 5th to 7th of September, and then again between 8th to 11th of September, you will find certain things coming out in the open. And they could be certain things that you have not said before, and they are being said now. It could be that you're speaking up more at work. It could be that you're speaking up more in your personal life. It could be the things that have to be said now. And I would encourage you to do that. Overall, these aspects, they encourage you to gain progress by opening up and saying the things that you truly need to do, because the T square that is forming between 5th to 7th of September and then again between 8th to 11th of September, which places us in a situation of choice, the outlet of that, the solution of that is to speak up, is to be open about what you need to say, is to market, sell, read, be open about your talents, be open about your ideas, be open about what you truly want to do. Jupiter is sitting in your house of communication. I spoke about it in detail in the last month's Jupiter video, which is imperative for you to see, because that's where your expansion is. That is where the support comes to you. And Jupiter sitting in your house of communication and expression is helping you express your ideas. It is increasing the amount of capability you have to absorb new information, speak up with boldness, express yourself. And the solution of this problem or a conflict or a stress within ourselves, the outlet of that is to talk. And in this season, that talk comes out in a much easier fashion. So I would suggest you to use 6th of September, use 8th, 9th of September. Use it to have that discussion. Use it to talk at work, because there are certain things that you have been looking to find answers of. Maybe there are some restructuring happening at work and you don't understand where you are going as a part of that. Maybe there are certain unknowns that are bothering you. And this is the season to resolve the unknowns. And there will be more and more information that the next few days will reveal to you, especially 10th of September. 10th of September is when there could be certain job confusion or even a health confusion that comes out in the open. So if there was something up in the air and things were just not clear, now becomes the time when you suddenly realize something. There could be a hidden piece of information that you did not see before that comes out in the open around 10th of September. It could be in area of work or it could be in area of health. Because Neptune is sitting in your house of health. And when that happens, we are given the gift of intuition. We are given the gift that we take on certain alternative medicines in a very positive fashion, but also our sensitivity of the body increases. Because the aim is to make us more sensitive to certain things, to realize what works for us, what doesn't work for us. I spoke about it in detail in the last couple of videos as well. But now what's happening is that Neptune has gone retrograde. So now we start seeing things very clearly. So if there were health issues which were up in the air, we didn't know why I'm falling sick, why this immunity issue happened, why this certain thing is bothering me physically. Similarly at work, why is this person behaving in a negative fashion with me? Why is their behavior, which did not bother me before, now is bothering me? Or there's a structural change at work and I don't know why this is happening. So the confusion, any kind of confusion with respect to your work environment, with respect to co-worker, with respect to your place of working and your work environment overall, and your health condition, that comes out into open on 10th of September when Sun makes a contact with that, and you have a knowing, you have a clear knowing of why. And this will continue till 13th or 14th of September when more clarity comes into it. I think that with Sun and Pluto meeting each other on 13th of September, this confusion sort of, you have an insight into it and you also know how to handle it. This is the time when in the second half of the month we start acting on things, because Sun and Venus enter your sign. When Sun and Venus enter our sign, our personal faculties start working actively. They are no more in the dormant phase. The first half of the month, you're resolving things behind the scene. Second half of the month, you're front and center and the light is on you. Venus moves into your sign. Mercury moves into your sign. This is a light bulb moment in your mind and your body. Your faculties start working towards the future. Your mind start working towards the future. You start looking at creating things financially and physically for the future, because some amount of fog has lifted. And that comes with a full moon in Pisces in your 6th house of work and health. When there's a full moon, moon is complete. Moon is full. Moon is fully illuminated. Things are fully clear and illuminated. And now we can look at doing things in a enlightened fashion because we have full information now. This is why the things and changes and structural changes that we want to make, they should come later in the month or better in October. Because then you will know things. There are things below the surface that you're not aware of, which will come out in the open in the first half, and that is needed for you to know before you take action, before you make changes in your job, before you make changes in how you're completing your project, before you take certain healing methods and implement them. So with 15, 16, 17, the Aries moon, you will feel a completion. You will feel a knowing. And the first half of the month, this whole process is happening between 14 to 17 degree of Libra, which is around 7th to 10th of October born. 7th to 10th of October born have Saturn standing still on their degrees. Saturn is sitting in your house of home and family. When Saturn is sitting in your house of home and family, there is a restructuring, a rewiring, which happens in our inner life. Your foundations are being changed. This is a not so easy placement of Saturn because it moves us to a next phase in our life. This is a chapter in our life which matures us to the next level. This is especially true if your IC or your 4th house or your ascendant or your rising is at 14 degree. 14 degree of Libra is where this is happening. This is, if you're a Libra sun, that's around 7th of October. So 7th of October born will physically feel a change in their home, family, inner foundation. It's like a rebirth of your inner life. This is our behavior when nobody else is watching. This is our personal behavior, how we behave in situation of challenge, how we behave with a home and family, how we behave in our inner sense of security when we know there are things that are coming to us where we are being visible, where we are being watched. where possibly we are being criticized, because when you take a more public role, or you take a role of leadership, or you take a higher role, these are the things that get tested. So your foundations are being strengthened as a process of that. Then you bring your emotionally fulfilled self to work. Then you bring the score to work. And Pluto is also turning direct, and it's acting at around 20-21 degree. So Pluto is making sure that you have a heart of steel here, that you're growing, not just that you're restructuring yourself, you are coming out stronger. It's making sure that this is strong, effective. You are able to take tough decisions if required. And this is happening around 20 or 21 degree of Libra, which is around 13th of October born. So when Pluto goes direct, there is a restructuring that was impending in your life when it comes to your career, when it comes to your external life, when it comes to your place of living even. That starts happening. And that starts happening, you'll start experiencing that from 13th of September. So these two working together start your season. Start a season that you have never experienced before. So before even your season begins, there's a lot of groundwork that happens. Then on 17th of September, we have Mercury and Uranus meeting each other. There is a upheaval within your mind. I told you that at the first half of the month, the restlessness within you needs to be handled effectively. We need to find a way to channel it. This is brilliance within you that wants to come out. This is the feeling of wanting to do something different. This is us suppressing our innovation in some ways, which wants to come out and shift things. So Uranus wants to make sudden changes in life. It wants you to experience freedom and power like you've never experienced before. And now in your season, it wants to express that. But if we have done the groundwork in the first half of the month, in my view, you will find an effective channel for it. Effective channel for this could be, I find a new way of making money. I find a career that gives me more freedom. I find a career which gives me transformation when it comes to my leadership skills. I find a personal relationship, because Venus will be meeting Uranus as well on 19th of September. I find a personal life, a personal partner, which understands my need to do so, my need to be free, my need to be independent, my need to handle my financials in a different way, my need to maybe keep my financials independent. So those things will come with Venus and Uranus making an injunction to each other on 19th of September. This is all, both of these aspects of 17th of September and 19th of September are happening at 6 degree of Libra. So people who have planets around 29 or 28th of September, 6 or 7 degree of Libra, which means 26, 27, 29th of September, in September born, will experience this restlessness to have a transformation, to have this as powerful as possible, a new start in your life, a life of change, a life of transformation, a life of you being given your fair share. That is what you would demand, and it will come out in the productive way, or it will come out in a restless fashion with suddenly things that will suppressed within you coming out. And these could be shocking ideas, these could be shocking discussions. It could just be innovation coming out in a shocking way to other people who are not used to innovative ideas. So work on those ideas behind the scene, prepare the groundwork for them, prepare the groundwork for having a conversation with your partner even. 21st of September is when Jupiter and Neptune make a square with each other. You'll start feeling it way ahead. This is where you, as I mentioned, your strength is your ability to communicate yourself. You are a master communicator. You know how to make other people understand what you truly want, objectively, easily, in a very softer fashion. So, using that skill set at work, is very important this month. There might be certain ideas that you have been cultivating over the course of whole of this year. And now is an excellent time to present them as a part of this full moon in your work. Launch something in the second half of the month when it comes to your projects, when it comes to your work. The projects should be definitely launched, in my view, and brought to conclusion for people who have planets around 21 degree of Libra, which is around 13th or 14th of October born. This is the same degree at which certain health matters could come to focus in the second half of the month. So if you have planets around 21 degree of Libra, or if you're born around 13th or 14th of October, I'll request you to be a little bit careful when it comes to your health in the second half of the month. This is apart from 17 degree that I mentioned earlier, who might have certain diagnosis revealed to them or certain alternative way of handling health that might come up. We were maybe trying traditional methods and somebody shows us different ways of doing things, and that completely changes how we handle our health. That is for 17 degrees, especially for 17 degree of Libra, which is around 10th of October born. Then for 13th, 14th of October, which is around that 21 degree of Libra, not very far off, similar thing, but second half of the month you will be in focus when it comes to your health routine. It could be a good time to sort of see the results of things you had implemented, changes you had done maybe 6 months back. You had implemented a new health routine and now you see the result of that, or maybe something is brought to focus that you did not see before and now you want to shift that. These are mutable things. Pisces and Virgo, where these new moon and full moon are happening, they are mutable sign. They encourage us to make changes. They help us and ease us into changes. This is the time before your season begins when we are in mutable season and changes are done. Changes are easier done. Then in your season, we take the requisite steps. We take a new job. We start a new life. We start a new way of doing things. After we have done the changes in our way of doing things, when we have set the order, we have seen what we need to do, we have researched what we needed to research. So on 22nd of September or 23rd of September, when Sun enters Libra, your season begins. And with that begins the restructuring of our life, because on the very first day, Mercury is making a square with Saturn at 14 degree. So there could be a conversation, there could be a new start that you need to maybe say something at work or with respect to your career, which is you coming out of your comfort zone. You breaking out of your past, releasing a past, and then saying things bravely with a lot of focus, with a lot of focus towards your own goals. There's a cardinal T square formed on the day of your season starting itself. Cardinal T square are all about taking requisite actions. Something has to be done. I have to start this. I have to speak up at work. I have to present something. I have to do something which makes me, which takes me out of my comfort zone. But I am being supported by Jupiter, who's saying, you have the knowledge, you have the information, you have done the work, speak up. And then on 25th of September, Venus makes a hard aspect with Saturn as well. In your season, the aspects will be hard because the Earth season square you. But the hard aspects make things possible for us. They make changes. They make sure that we are certain of what we are going for. So there is a overcoming of your comfort zone in your season, which will be very strongly felt both in your professional life and in your personal life, because you're releasing an old way of doing things and becoming the kind of strong leader that you wanted to be. 28th of September is your new moon, your brand new start in your season. It's happening at 5 degrees. So if people who have planets around 5 degree of Libra, which is around the day of the new moon, if you're born around 28th of September, This is going to be a completely different year for you. This starts off a process of a new job, of a new career, of a new physical body, of a new emotional pattern for you. And this is coming with your ruler Venus meeting Jupiter. It's lucky in some ways. It's very, very blessed in some ways. Pleasantly blessed. Although this new moon is happening at 5 degrees, but everything is very focused between 14 to 21 degree for your sign, which is around 7th of October to around 7th of October to around 13th of October born. So 7th to 13th of October born will experience Saturn and Pluto's change, restructuring in your inner life, in your home and family, in your real estate, in your professional career structure, very, very significantly. This is once in a lifetime changes that are coming about. So you experience that more towards as we move forward in October, as Pluto goes direct on 3rd of October. You will also be having a full moon in your opposite sign on 13th of October, which focuses on bringing a completion to a contract. So maybe a contract is getting closed. You're coming to a culmination. You might have been working on a client for the last 6 months. You might have been working on a person for the last 6 months. You might have been working to close a committed partnership with somebody for last 6 months, and that finally comes to a conclusion around 13th of October. This is especially true if you have planets around 20 degree of Libra, which is around 13th of October born. So that's what is happening, Libra. I think we're going to talk one more time because I want to go deeper into your season. There's a lot being unpacked here all in once. But what's essentially happening is we are creating the basis of a much visible role for you, much visible outer life for you. So you will find yourself easily shifting your inner being to accommodate that in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the month, when we have this grander trine easing you into a transformation. Good luck for that, Libra. I'll see you in the next video now.